So Grixis Valki slash Grixis Release the Winds, if you haven't seen it before, is based around the combination of Valki, God of Lies, alongside Release the Winds here. And Release the Wind says, exile a non-land permanent. For as long as it remains exiled, its owner may cast it without paying its mana cost. So what you can do with this deck is, with a Nuts Draw, is play Valki on turn 2, and then you release to the wind your Valki, and then the way Release to the Wind is templated, it actually allows you to cast Tibalt Cosmic Imposter for free off of the released Valki. So you get to have this turn 3 7-mana Planeswalker with this 2-card combo to either exile something off their board or start drawing a lot of cards at a very high loyalty amount. The rest of this deck is just basically a blue-red control deck here. We got a small black splash for Valki, and I kind of like the angle that this deck has taken. We've got things like Dragon Rage Chandler and some adventure cards and some things like Gearhulk here to like have a very reasonable mid-rangey game plan outside of this combo, because I think the goal of this type of deck should be, we don't want to be all in on this 2-card combo, because we're not always going to have the 2-card combo. We just want to be this reasonable deck that happens to have this powerful thing inside of it. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels today. Let's work with Luca as well. What Luca are you thinking of? Because I do not know of any Luca that would work with. Work in Dimir? Yeah, I mean, you could technically play this as a base blue-black deck for sure, too. I think you probably want, like, some red pathways so you can, like, cast the Valki late in case you draw it and don't have Release to the Wind, but I've seen these decks built as a Lurrus deck before as well, because Valki's technically 2 CMC. Piero, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. You know, people talk about, or often ask a lot, Jeff, what cards could meaningfully change the metagame in Historic? And I think one of the cards I don't hear get brought up often enough is, I wonder if Eidolon of the Great Revel could push this format away from the more greedy decks. I feel like that's a card that could really put mono red on the map, and having mono red be on the map tends to be a good way to keep people honest. Now, I actually don't think Cavern of Souls changes anything. Cavern's a gross card in general. Blood Moon. You can take 10 minutes to think about your Blood Moon comment. I think Eidolon is a great example of a pretty fair, reasonable card that's interactable, but also does an okay job of punishing. I've talked about this one before on stream, but I'm a big proponent of Burning Earth. I think if you want to punish greedy mana bases, Burning Earth is a very good power level way to do that. I think that would be a good card for the format. So for a long time, I was a big proponent of Aether Vial being added to the format. And while I don't think Aether Vial would be a bad addition to Historic, I think with the inclusion of Archmage's Charm in this format, Aether Vial is no longer a solution to any of Historic's problems. The types of decks you really want to play Aether Vial against are currently playing Prismari Command and Archmage's Charm, so you basically aren't going to get to do anything useful with it. Yeah, Price of Progress in my mind is up there with Blood Moon for being a terrible suggestion. card. That card's pretty offensive. Speaking of pretty offensive, you know, decent turn 5. I killed my 5/6, but it drew 2 cards and came with a 4/4, so like, deal. Give us Necropotence, what could go wrong? Yeah, we'll just draw this one, because it gives us some more Surveil. We should put every non-blue Mox into Historic and let the format sort itself out. Some people just want to watch the world burn, chat. Some people just want to watch it burn. Cleared for liftoff. Roger Dodger, over and out. We'll go ahead and fart the Valki here. The power of Toots, chat. All right, so Anger and Extinction Event both look pretty good here. Murderous Rider's probably okay. Spellbomb seems like whatever. We board out the Chandlers if we're boarding in a bunch of sweepers. I don't think they have quite enough graveyard stuff to be worth bringing in the Soul Guide Lanterns. Like, I don't want it for just the Phoenix. What's going on, Bandit? Happy Tuesday. Go on, JRC. Thanks for 13 months. Welcome back. Just chillin'. This board makes the gods very angry, chat. Come on, play another threat. You know you want to. Thank you, thank you. Bye, friends. This play is madness, chat. Opponent's deck is very sweet, by the way. We played a little bit of it yesterday. The better games with it are gonna go up on the highlight channel on the YouTubes later this week. You want Tarmogoyf. I'm really not in favor of printing cards that wouldn't do anything into Historic. Seems like a waste. Yeah, I don't think Goyf's very good here. There's no fetch lands, and the power level of the format is kind of above and beyond where that card is. Did I just sweep the board again? I think I might just sweep the board again. You're not wrong in that a lot of people would register it. That's true. What Boshek says, honestly, that's probably a reason to put it into the format. Because a bunch of people would play with it. I personally would really like to cast the Magic the Gathering card Vendilion Click, but I can also recognize that giving control decks Vendilion Click in the current environment would probably be bad for the format, so please don't do it, Watsy. I want to play Sylvan Advocate with the new... I want to play Sylvan Advocate with the new creature lands. That card was my jam. Yeah, Innistrad Remastered in general would be great. Innistrad sets are always bangers, chat. Six months, Rocky. Welcome back. So, I actually want to let this attack because it attacking gives me a 1/1 I get to block with Murderous Rider. He says before getting Unholy Heated. The edge. So, the beta did not have shadows fully implemented, and we know from communications from Wizards that their card engine backend changed between the beta and now. And unfortunately, them drawing all 4 Mana Gorger Phoenixes against our control deck was not good for us. Fine, we'll take game 3 on the pipe. We'd have been able to play through that if they hadn't had all 4 Mana Gorgers. Unfortunately, they did. Maybe I am supposed to bring in Soul Guide because of how good Mana Gorger was there. Let's get rid of those. Let's try it. Opponent had more gas than our farts deck, chat. Wasn't ideal. Hand me cookie jar, fam. We did hit it this turn at least. Probably just cycling the Soul Guide Lantern. That's like pretty incredibly unlucky. Thanks, Bleach. Well, that's certainly a name I haven't heard in a long time. I feel like I really wonder what was in their hand that they played this out while they had 5 cards in hand. It's like, this card's good when it's like your last card and it's drawing you a bunch. I guess we could have Valki there to take a peekaboo. Thanks for the 20 months, Glad Nauseum. Welcome back. Goodbye, friends. So, I kind of think I want to just max Opus Gearhulk here. I feel like just having like 2 different 2-card combos sounds good. And like Release the Winds is good with Gearhulk as well, right? Hey, thanks for letting me know you like the Pokemon stuff, Pride. There'll definitely be a question on the sub-survey at the end of the month about that. And thanks for the resub. Welcome back. This is an artifact too. I'm gonna cut this Aether Spell Bomb. I think it's just too cute. I also want to cut to fit these in. We're at 25 lands is probably a decent count. Is the Dragon Rage Chandler part of this deck good? Do we... I guess it's probably good in, like, the control matchups. So, one of the things Dragon Rage Chandler does well is it is kind of a must-answer threat that, like, draws removal out before we Valki. It could just be right to pull up, though, too. Like, we could do this. This is extra threats. I kind of don't hate the idea of just, like, leaning into being a bigger deck. Like, something like the look of this seems very reasonable. And then, because we're trimming threats out of the main, I think Hermit's a great threat to bring in out of the sideboard for the control matchups. If we wanted more threat density post-board. Yeah, I think I agree with that. The Darcy angle seems better out of a... like a Luris build. Let's try this. I think I like going a little bit bigger. Yeah, I like this change too, I think. Yeah, I added more Shark Typhoons too, though, which is another way to get Delirium for Unholy Heat. And Unholy Heat is one of those cards where it's just like, it's pretty reasonable even when you don't have Delirium. Like, Shock is, like, relatively playable. It is looking like we are going to immediately get punished for our swap, though, because anger and heat are not good into this control deck. It's like we're kind of at a 2-card hand here at the moment. Siphon Insight Historic playable? I don't think so. A lot of the decks in Historic tend to be more linear, which makes playing cards like that less good. Oh, I should have done this before playing my land because of the fast lands. Yeah, I took, so the reason why people ask me, like, well, can they deal with Klothys? Maybe, but, like, they could just kill me. They could have just killed me with the Kavu instead of dealing with the Klothys, right? And turning this into a Kavu means that I get to, like, loot away these cards that just, like, aren't very good in the matchup. Rock Dav, thanks for the follow. Alright, we're gonna game 2 here. Peak Magic is drawing just like 4 of your 8 cards that you're gonna board out. Like a big old helping of Get Wrecked. Yeah, Adbane, I'm hoping that Greedent is a playable healer to diversify that slot a bit would be great. With the Lucario nerf, hopefully Blissey looks more reasonable again. It's just like not Eldegoss, but if we had 3 different slots for the support healer, that would be great. Some mulligans are difficult, others not so much. Yeah, the attacker role has a lot of diversity in the current Unite patch. Different things that are reasonable. Just run all three in like Blastoise and Venu as your damage. You have tanky damage with lots of healers. That could be fun. Assume we're gonna lose Expressive Iteration here. These are our 2-1s, chat. There are many like them, but these ones are ours. One release to the winds, please. Valki's got gas, chat. This also makes Gearhulk a good draw. Hermit, showing us why it's just good in these attrition matchups in addition to being a counterspell, just like being 2 threats in 1 card is also very nice. Okay. So they have 1 card we don't know, so we'll discard this Opus, and then on their upkeep, we'll try and flash it back. Obviously, they could have drawn exactly Veto, but I don't think we play around Veto in 1 card. They have like a handful of unknown cards. I get my guaranteed value, but I think, well, now I have choices, chat. Yeah, I think the play is take their Kavu and cast it for sure. Alright, well now they have a Dovin's Veto that we know about. They have a Teferi, actually. Okay.
Make no mistake, I'm not nice.
Do this now. So we've got hitting from a couple of different axes now. We do not have the new overlay stuff up yet. Still the same sub-badge and stuff we've had for a while. You'll notice when the new overlay stuff is up. My elements and stuff are all gonna look different. I mean, for reference, the Niv decks were a big part of the metagame even when Memory Lapse was legal. And with Memory Lapse being pushed down, I think they're definitely in contention for being towards the top of the format. Just like Jeskai. Because they weren't, these Niv decks weren't playing Memory Lapse to begin with, so they did not get a power level decrease. Do we have a way to get rid of my Tibalt here? We don't. It's bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for him here.
Oh, so many painful memories.
Tibalt is a tough one to outgrind in these matchups. Just takes cards off both players' decks. Basically, pluses to draw 2. Yeah, he's gas press pick. Wonder if we want a couple more hard removal spells in this deck. I guess Tibalt's technically hard removal. That is true. They technically, a lot of these div decks had been playing Faceless Agent, so they technically did get a power level increase with that card getting made better. The 5-color Niv deck is just a fantastic example of if your brew is actually good, it's gonna become a real deck. Is the TLDR. Man, we are super dead to this 5/5 Kavu, huh? Actually just dead? Yeah, I think I want some more Riders or Noxious Grasp or some way to just kill these larger things. Definitely light on ways to do that. Someone was talking about Tarmogoyf earlier. Listen, chat, this Tarmogoyf rummages every turn. Yeah, I don't know that I want... Like, Noxious Grasp is good in this matchup specifically, but I don't know if I want a card that narrow. I think I just generically want something that just, like, kills bigger things. Yeah, or just... Could even just be right to, like, have some fatal pushes in the 75. With the Aether Gust in hand, we're just not going to be able to push through even with the Opus. Let's adjust our removal suite here for sure. I'll double check our black land count, but it feels like we'll have plenty. Is Infernal Grasp good in Historic? Infernal Grasp is good in aggro decks. It is not good in mid-range and control decks that are looking to use their life total as a resource while they stabilize the board. So we have 8, 10, 12 black. How much red? We have 16, 17, 18. We have 19 red, and we have 12. I have 18 blue. I probably don't actually need this much blue mana, huh? Well, so should you run slow lands depends on where you're trying to cast things on your curve. And for example, Valki's a 2-drop, so I feel like I want one more black at a minimum. And as far as my words are falling out of my mouth. As far as this deck goes, if you're playing Valki, you want to play it on 2, so having a tapped land that makes black on 2 is not great. I put more sweepers in the main, so I probably don't need that many sweepers on the board. And honestly, I probably don't need Duress and Negate and Hermit. So maybe we cut those, and this lets us get some hard removal here on the board. We'll play a couple of Fatal Pushes. We'll play a Noxious Grasp. Aether Gust could be good. Could be good, too. These Extinction Events might be unnecessary with the 4 sweepers main. Hopefully it's a matchup where these cards have text. Nailed it, chat. Probably Shamans. I think Growl Elves is unlikely. I think Visionary is usually indicative of Shamans. I'm gonna anger here because there's a good chance with the Land War Elves they just like hold up Collected Company next turn anyways, then my anger becomes very bad. Confirmed Shamans. I mean, Druids isn't really a deck in the format, and Shamans is, so. Saying it's the deck that people play versus one that they don't isn't a stretch. Predicting what your opponent is playing is not just an exercise of, well, what do the cards they play do? It's a mixture of what do the cards they play possibly mean based on the context of what gets played in the format. Well, fam, might have been a little bit too aggressive with their angers, treating them early. Thanks for bailing me out, Deck. I appreciate you. This game's not over yet, but definitely keeps us in it solidly. Hey, no tokens there is great for us, too. I'm just supposed to kill this, even though it's technically smaller, because if they draw another Rage Forger, them getting 2 sets of triggers from it's really good. We might have just used all our cumulative variants for the day. Yeah, we should probably be done playing Magic after this. I don't know that we can. We can peak higher than these last couple of turns. Glad we hedged and killed the Rage Forger. And Library Exile. Oh, I could have just played my land, huh? Yeah, I technically didn't need to do this.
So you've seen through my disguise.
It is cooler. Much fancier. Yeah, so we immediately get a matchup where we get to board in all that juicy spot removal we just added. It's probably just a consideration. Shark Typhoon's actually probably not necessary. I'll cut 2 of those and 2 Shark Typhoon, or 2 considers. I like it. It'd be a good Leer deck in Historic. Maybe. I don't know. The question you have to ask yourself is, like, is Leer better than something like Teferi Hero of Dominaria or Torrential Gearhulk plus Magma Opus? Because, like, those are the existing top-end control decks are playing in the format, and I'm not sure that what Leer is offering is better than either of those. Most things died on Unholy Heat, right? Six damage is a lot of damage. Despite all the rage, I asked that other people that are interested in grouping with me in Unite get to Masters right now. It is definitely capable of grinding to Masters solo. There are plenty of people that have posted doing that multiple times. In fact, I don't even know that I would say that getting to Masters rank is easier in a 5-stack so much as it's just different. Because you tend to play against, your opponents tend to be harder when you play as 5s because you're playing against other groups of people that are also coordinated on average, so it tries to pair 5s into 5s. Yeah, the losses tend to be less frustrating. Would be my description. We might need to just pull the trigger and kill Elvish Visionary. Deal. One of the Pokemon Unite content producers I watch, he recently did a thing where he played from the starting rank to Masters, letting Twitch chat vote on every Pokemon that he played each game. And he obviously plays a ton and is very good at the game, but I think he did it with like a 72% win rate, did it like around 100 matches. Good Lord, chat. All right, well, we need a sweeper next turn. We needs a sweeper next turn, fam. That is not the sweeper we wanted for Christmas. That was the last Rage Forger. The last melon. Playing with fives is very different, but if you're capable of following directions, I tend to be very good at calling where people need to be when they play with the group for the first time. I feel like Collected Company is just like the poster child of Magic the Gathering's always been a coin flip game. Whenever the boomers would complain about coin flip designs. It's just like, no, really, trust me, this is how Magic's always been. So BTE is their best hit here. They have 2 of those left in their deck. I gotta make a Smurf account. I've actually been playing with Maddie a little bit using the boys' accounts. Oh, God. All right, well, we get to do this. And we get to Unholy Heat, kill the existing Rage Forger. And then this one can't attack this turn at least, but we're pretty dead next turn. All right, we get 3 more looks at Anger or Sweltering here. Okay. So that lets us kill the Burning Tree Emissary, and then I have an okay block with the Gearhulk, but I'm gonna get killed by the triggers from All right, my opponent and I have each taken a turn drawing the best possible cards off our deck in a row. My deck was Hot Fire in the first game, and their deck was Hot Fire in the second game. But I want to Valki the last Rage Forger. Maybe I wanted to play Tibalt. Like, I wasn't dead to them playing the second Rage Forger. Maybe that was greedy on my part. And by maybe, I mean it was definitely greedy, but it was the play I took and why. Let's see if we can break their curve up here with this. Nice tapped land. Is it just Burning Tree Emissary? I think it's just Burning Tree Emissary. Stop them from playing 2 things to the board this turn. Is Burning Tree the only card to ever be unsuspended in Historic? Yeah, so far. Did field come off the list and go back on? Maybe? I don't remember now. Look at how much fear is in their dojo, chat. You just gotta look deep into their soul while you make the free attack and just be like, I could have anything. Be afraid.
Bring Coldheim to its knees.
Do I take the Harmonic Prodigy here? I think I take the Harmonic Prodigy here, right? Because otherwise all of these are gonna pop off.
How badly did you miss that?
The 20 months, Raider Monkey, welcome back. Yep, 2 shots of the sweeper, champ. Right, swing and a miss twice.
I'm not nice.
Okay, so we can run back the... We can do what they did. We could visionary into this. And then I think we fatal push their Harmonic Prodigy now, right? Look at me. I'm the Shaman deck. Yeah, I think Shamans is going to be in the list of decks we'll get to vote on for the next deck today. I went back through all the old standard and historic decks we had played that I hadn't gotten back to for a second time yet. I put a bunch of them into the deck editor so we could consider taking a peekaboo at them. It's really unfortunate that Tybalt is dead here. Big sad.
Yes, bleed. Oh, that's
Hey, 4 shots at a sweeper. Only needed 1. Oh gosh, this even has prowess, so we get to keep it. That's so good for us. Easy game. And we're at 6 lands here, right? So we're getting close to just hardcast Magma Opus. Hey, they're at 6. This is 8 points of damage. Yeah, so I did this. They get to recast it for free. but it denies them... It denies them the thing. They're dead, right? We just Magma Opus 4 tap their stuff. I don't know why they didn't cast it, but thank you. I guess they wanted to play around to sweeper with it. Someone asked, why Release the Wind over Unsubstantiate? Because Release the Wind combos with Tybalt. You play Valki on 2, you Release the Winds on 3, and then you have a 7-mana Planeswalker on the 3rd turn of the game. How can you tell when a card says you may cast that card, but you need to follow timing restrictions? So usually if you're able to skip timing restrictions, I believe it tells you you have to cast that card immediately. Whereas with Release the Wind, you can cast it till end of turn. I believe is the difference / indicator there. The until end of turn is the distinction. If you don't have the choice and have to cast it right away. Sure, Release Winds as long as it's an exile. Same difference. It's, you may cast this until condition is met. Don't actually me, Twitch chat. Yikes. That's a big one, chat. This will be a matchup where I'm happy I added Fatal Push and some other ways to kill thicker creatures. Things aren't looking so good for our hero here, chat. We might be a teensy bit dead. Just the teeny tiniest. Opponent's got some thick mamma jammas there. Some large lads, if you would. These considers and bring in a bunch of removal. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Hiya, Bus. Thanks for the follow. Historics felt very reasonable in its current state. I think Historic got a bit better with Memory Lapse being removed, and Standard's gotten a touch worse with Aldrin's Epiphany everywhere. So I think overall, I think both formats are in a similar spot. I don't know that I have a strong preference between the two. I'm probably going to be doing a pretty even mix of them here on stream. See, chat? They're scared. Look at all these free points of damage. Yeah, I agree, Lucas. Having a lot of formats that are worth playing on Arena is great. I hope we get Pioneer on this client in the not too distant future. To have a third format as well would be lovely.
Yes, succumb to chaos. Oh, so many painful memories.
This is a little tinfoil heady, so bear with me if this is too conspiracy minded, but it honestly often feels like Wizards doesn't think they should be allowed to have multiple good formats at the same time. It feels like they always wait for one to go to crap before addressing the other. It's like, we finally got memory lapse addressed 6 months after we all knew it was a problem because Standard was dragging and they didn't want to touch Standard. It's definitely a pattern that they have. I do think this is probably an instance of Hallin's Razor, which for people aren't familiar with that, it's an old saying that don't attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by incompetence. It's probably the reality in which we are living. So Hanlon, probably the wrong person's name. Is it not even called Razor? I thought it was Razor. Maybe I'm wrong on that too. Chat, I said it on the internet with confidence. I'm definitely correct. It's Hanlon's Razor. Okay. Alright, I think I am passing here. And my plan is to block with Valki, release to fog 5 damage.
Trickery is just a hobby. Chaos, share in my pain.
So they have Heroic Intervention in hand here, which makes taking their beast pretty unappealing. Yeah, if they attack the Tibalt, we can release it again, is correct? I think there's a good chance they just ship into me here, though. Yeah, they get to recast that for free, but it fogs the attack.
Make no mistake, I'm not nice.
Yeah, it takes the counter off it too, is accurate. So his alt exiles cards from graveyards and lets us recast them, which actually isn't that good here. It gives us a bunch of mana to cast something else though, which is nice. The BAM effect, thanks for the follow. Their dojo does not contain fear, chap. Six, seven, eight. Okay, so all of my choices here kind of suck, Chip. Yeah, they have this heroic intervention. This is like staring us in the face. If I find a sweeper, okay, so now I could do this. and Aether Gust, their heroic intervention. I have Aether Gust for the heroic intervention. Okay, and then I get to go land into Valki, check for a 1/1. Into Llanowar Elves. Well, their knight's a 1/2, so it does not turn on the left shark piece. Ever lucky, chat. One, 2 turns on beast. No, you have to have exactly a 1/1. Yeah, they turned off their beast again. That's good for us. So I have 6 mana. So I can Fatal Push, Pelt Collector, Release the Winds 1, Heartless Act another, and then if they brick on their thing, I get another turn. Your Hulking Sweeper is the best move. I mean, we're dead to all. You can't Gear Hulk a Sweeper. Your Hulk's only instance. I'm supposed to do this during their upkeep. Since I can't beat a 1/1 anyways, I'm supposed to do this during their upkeep, right? Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have, chat, I could have released the Valki and used the Valki down tick to steal a creature, is what I should have done. Just draw a brick, please. 1 turn, 1 brick. Yeah, I should have done that. Then the Gutter Bones would be gone.
Oh, so many painful memories.
Okay, and then that's it, right? That's an untapped land. So now we go, okay, your turn. Oh, shit. I forgot this is going to let them draw a card. Whoops. I think this is still fine. They could have a haste creature here. Oh, I have a 4/4 though, right? Did we stabilize? This game was kind of incredible. My brain feels fucking huge, chat. That was awesome. This is why people play Grixis decks, chat. You ignore all the games you lose, and you only remember those games. It makes my brain feel nice and big. Serotonin is a weird card. Now, Kenix, be nice to the other mods. Unless they ask for timeouts, be kind. extra wrinkles on the brain. You can see him double. I even missed a line there too, right? Like if we would have released the winds, our own Valki would have been in even a better spot. Yes, fine. Well, I was going to snap off the heat on this, but Anger of the Gods makes me pause. I think we still snap the heat on this to save this for later, but we'll see. It could be right to just consider here. I think we play this on blue. So this way, if we consider into an Expressive Iteration, we can Iteration before we play a land next turn. I'm gonna go ahead and keep my health total high here. Looks like they're doing something mid-rangey. You know what's really good against mid-range decks, chat? Torrential Gearhulk Magma Opus. I'm the bad man. Yeah, I think just having a bunch of 2-card combos in this deck is where we want to be. It's like if we have 2 different 2-card combos that are like pretty okay, we're bound to hit one of them, right? My Grixis heart grew 2 sizes that day. Our deck is confident we want this card. Yeah, they're just like playing like red-white fair cards. Are they a burn deck? I can't tell if were they just a burn deck that had a rancid keep? They might be a burn deck that had a bad keep, chap. Johan, thanks for the 25 months. Thanks for keeping me around. I will say, just for the sake of transparency and stuff, if you are supporting with the hope that I end up back at Modern, that is not in my short-term plans. So I do understand if you send your support somewhere else. You should definitely support the content that you're watching, and if you fall out of mine, it's not a big deal to bounce along to supporting others. I totally understand that. My focus in the immediate future is definitely going to be arena formats plus Pokemon Unite. The dash of other variety stuff here and there as things spark my interest. They are not on Luris. Could be like Showdown as their extra card at the top end. Oh yeah, they have Bone Crusher Giant 2's a good shout. Are you ready? Bone Crusher's ready. Oh shoot, chat, I made a huge mistake. I should have played this on black because now I can't anger next turn. It's actually a pretty big mistake. If I'm being completely honest, the primary thing that would need to happen to really get me interested in Modern is for it to be on Magic Arena. Yeah, like if I would have sequenced my lands correctly here, these would both be dying this turn. A big part of what pushed me into doing some Modern again was all of Magic Arena's formats were kind of in mediocre spots. Like Historic wasn't great, and Standard still had Eldraine in it. I just have more fun playing Arena than Magic Online. So like, if all things are equal and the formats are similarly good, I'd rather play Arena. Take an extra 7 points of damage because of my land sequencing mistake. Well, I couldn't cast Expressive. Oh, you mean... No, I want to draw 2 cards with this, chat. So I have to give up my my what's it called here, my treasure, but I want to try and draw 2 cards. Wow! Chat, this card's fucking busted against us. Mercy. Mercy. I think we're dead. I agree. Maybe if I had +5 life, we could survive, but honestly, even if we had +5, we're still in kind of a bad spot. Yikes. Well, shoot. I think I'm supposed to go off of this plan here. Not only do they have a lot of cheap removal to disrupt it, but the what's it called, making us take 5 sounds not great. Do I want Duress? Maybe, I don't know. They get empty-handed and then Duress is pretty bad. I think I'll just do those. No, yeah, Roiling Vortex is very reasonable in this format. I think if you're playing a red aggressive deck, playing some number of copies of it's a very good choice. Yeah, honestly, Bacon, like, Grixis not dealing with enchantments efficiently is a big part of what keeps it, you know, bottom barrel meme tier. For sure. I'll have that. Take a random here, I think. Our opponent's deck is so hateful, chat. I definitely think after seeing more of their deck here, it looks like they are in fact playing a burn deck and just had a bad draw game 1. Yeah, so for people pointing out cards that Grixis can play to interact with enchantments, you'll note that I used the keyword efficiently when I talked about Grixis' weakness there, and the efficiently part is really important. It's not that Grixis just can't anymore. It's the efficiency at which they can. That's the big deal. I think I'm just supposed to kill the wizard here. As much as it makes me big sad to not get 2 cards with my iteration. It's a hard cast Typhoon stream? I don't think so. Yeah, that would be a good example of something that I think would be playable. An Angrass Rampage that hit enchantments would be nice. The second Typhoon might be a hard cast. We'll see. Maybe. Yeah, the cards that people are listing, like, I want you to ask yourself the question, how many times have you seen the black enchantment removal card that you're listing played in a tiered deck? If you think about it, the answer is not very often for a reason. They're not particularly good Magic cards. Now, if they have a deal 3, they can shrink this so it doesn't kill the Bone Crusher. And, like, this is fine because we'll just Sweltering Suns next turn, right? And these slower games that are more interactive are very good for us, even if they are doing things like Rust in Peace. This hard cast is for you, chat. This is a content cast right here. Hey, what do you think, chat? Concession Opus? Smells like a Concession Opus to me. Love me the smell of a Concession Opus in the afternoon. All things considered, this deck felt very, very reasonable. This felt like two great flavors that kind of tasted great together. I definitely like the direction we ended up in, where we had more Magma Opus, more Gearhulk. Honestly, the one card that kind of felt maybe a little bit weak was Shark Typhoon. Perhaps this should be another card selection spell or answer, but it is also just a cantrip that's also a threat that's useful in some games like that last one there that we saw, so perhaps it's fine. If you're looking to Grixis people while also doing some things that are objectively powerful, it's pretty good. Yes, this deck is called Grixis Farts because when Valki releases the wind, he flips over into Tybalt. It's so incredibly strong.